Hello, everyone. On November 6th, 2021, Shawn Rhoden, one of the most aesthetically pleasing athletes of the last 10 years, died at the age of 46. The winner of the 2018 Olympia, the cause of death was a heart attack. I'm not going to hide it, I was just stunned by this news, it was so sudden. Shawn's death was not the first that fall. Not so long ago, George Peterson died at the age of 37 in the category up to 212 pounds. But then his death was at least somewhat explained by pre-competition training, when the body experiences a lack of nutrients, a lot of stress, draining water. Well, there are many factors that somehow, then this death can be explained. But Shawn, he had not performed for a long time at that time, one might say. He was on a forced break from the stage. Yes, he announced a mass gain afterwards, but could mass gain lead to such tragic consequences, given his experience? In this video, I would like to discuss a lot of his fate, so that later we can come to the very events that may have caused his death. It is important to understand that as a talented bodybuilder, Rhoden missed a lot of years. These are pictures from 2002. Young Shawn is unrecognizable. By that time, he had already been performing for several years, but that year, Rhoden made especially big bets. It was possible to take a ticket at the national tournament. At the same time, Shawn's father is diagnosed with lung cancer. Rhoden continues to prepare at the request of his father, who always supported him, but his thoughts were no longer about bodybuilding, of course. Shawn still performed, but only came 14th in the category. My father died soon after. It was a big blow for Rhoden, and he stopped thinking about the stage. It wasn't up to her. The break dragged on for 6 long years. Imagine when we're talking about a talented athlete, and around the same time, Branch Warren started. By 2009, he was already the runner-up at the Olympia, and Shawn just got back. And then he resumed training with iron again just to remember the good old days. But he was so talented and genetically gifted that he quickly gained weight, and as a result, he took his pro card. And since 2012, we have been remembering that very Aesthete Rhoden. His first professional victories came to him. There is more and more attention, and imitators have appeared. At the same time, Shawn remembered where he was from and was not shy about it. Quote, "I am grateful for everything in my life. The place to my right, I once called my home, and I'm not ashamed of where I come from or where I've been. It made me who I am today." In the open category, he was special. Powerful legs, narrow waist, skillful posing. Yes, he lost to Kai Green and Phil Heath en masse, but he played his trump cards. In 2012, he became the 3rd at the Olympia. A year later, Dennis Wolf was too good. Rhoden is only the 4th. After 2 years in a row, the 3rd. In 2016, the 2nd. In 2017, only the 5th. Phil Heath was very good. He was getting tougher every year, but because of his problematic waistline, he was losing ground. There was a video about him in the past. Be sure to watch it if you missed it. And Shawn had everything to play on this contrast, plus in recent years he has significantly increased in volume. Rhoden accepted the terms of the game and the trends, but remained himself and retained his signature aesthetic. In 2018, it was ready. Everyone remembers those famous shots when Rhoden took an academic break and literally pointed out the main weak point of the hit and why he, Shawn, should win this year. The moment of the announcement of the winner also remained in memory. Shawn waited. After so many years, he returned, he changed, kept himself at the same time, and accepted the gold medal next to his wife and daughter. No one in the audience could have imagined that this would be the last tournament for Shawn. Not even the Olympia, the last tournament in principle. At the same time, Rhoden wrote in his profile, "Enjoy every step you take and appreciate every outcome. Everything you go through is your life, your journey. Relax and accept everything from life." But a few months later, he was charged with rape, although the guilt has never been proven. Nevertheless, no one waited for the proceedings or court decisions. The IFBB Pro Federation and the Olympia organizers immediately suspended Rhoden from participating in the September tournament. Although there was still time before him, the current Mr. Olympia athlete was already preparing to defend his title. They made a quick decision, then it's a business. And as often happens, the organizers had no room for sympathy. Rhoden underwent a polygraph examination twice, then arrived at a court in Utah, achieved a reduction in the bail amount to $250,000, and made the following statement. I was previously accused of a crime, but I deny my guilt. I was shocked by this accusation against me. Those who know me know that due to my character and upbringing, I would not have done such a thing. I apologize to all my family, partners, and fans for the fact that these false statements have disgraced the sport that I love. I would never do what I'm accused of doing, putting my Mr. Olympia status at risk. My reputation is tarnished. I can't participate in the Olympia because of some kind of lie, and it's unfair and it doesn't fit in my head because I know I'm innocent. Nevertheless, I stand firm and wait for the charges to be dropped, and I will be able to compete at the Olympia again. And fast forward a year to the 2019 Olympia. The crowd welcomes Brandon Curry as the new Mr. Olympia A champion in a tight circle of fans and spectators. Similarly, the year before, the crowd had cheered for Shawn Rhoden, who had ended Phil Heath's 7-year era of dominance. If we go back to the footage from the 2019 Olympia, Curry didn't take the title back then and left. No, the title was vacant, and Rhoden himself remained an unwelcome guest at the Olympia, the reigning champion who remained until the announcement of a new winner. But he still came to a meeting with athletes, which the organizers did not invite him to. He didn't have a table, he didn't have a stand. He was the champion that the organizers turned away from, but not the fans. Shawn was moving very slowly. Everyone wanted a picture or a handshake with him. He was welcome. He was still loved and respected. Everyone believed that Shawn would come back. The trial continued, but Shawn did not live to see the end of it. The trial itself is an ordeal, and the pandemic has intervened. Rhoden just couldn't wait for the moment when he could clear his name and properly say goodbye to the audience from the stage. The triumph on stage was replaced by a difficult period. For a long time, Shawn lost the opportunity to perform on the Olympia stage. We were all waiting for news from him that the trial was finally over, he was found innocent, and would be able to enter the stage of the main tournament at least once more. The wait has dragged on so long that it seems to have become habitual. Yes, Shawn turned 46 years old, but there was no doubt that he would still be able to prove himself. Has the level of athletes at Olympia dropped? Never mind. Rhoden will come back and show you what real aesthetics and form are, but in the end, there will be nothing. The news of Shawn's sudden death arrives. Accusations, divorce, ban on speaking, problems with sponsors, the same pandemic, a heart attack. But what exactly led to it? Some sin on the pharmacology of the blood condition after drugs. Yes, athletes' hearts train as well, which seems to be a plus, but wear and tear also increases, and everyone's resources different. Others believe that Shawn was simply overwhelmed by stress. Still others believe that the substances from the vaccinations that people were given in connection with the current situation do not combine well with the drugs that athletes take. Additional blood clots, side effects multiply, and the risks increase. Again, this is just an opinion. Here's what the famous trainer and consultant George Farah said about the fact of health. People need to understand that bodybuilding is not the most useful activity possible, and it's even without drugs. Now imagine if a person uses them and at the same time endures as much stress as poor Shawn plus poor nutrition. I agree, something needs to be done, something needs to be changed in the future. Too many athletes do not undergo regular body health checks. I believe that many people can be saved if certain examinations are carried out, without which the athlete simply will not be able to perform. But we lost a good man, a friend, a father, and a champion. I'm very sad to realize this, but I think his life could have been saved. Shawn was one of those who gave to others rather than took for himself. He encouraged others, even supported his competitors. We spent endless hours together, and he never, ever spoke ill of anyone. He gave his all to the sport, but when he needed help, the doors quickly slammed shut, wherever it was possible. It made me very angry, but even then, Shawn didn't speak ill of anyone either publicly or in person. Even about those who could help, he was full of kindness, empathy, and empathy, traits that made us love him and make us want to become better ourselves. Aesthete also noted that Shawn really planned to return to the stage in the event of an acquittal. But in the end, Shawn did not wait for either an excuse or a return to the stage. Of course, it is possible and necessary to discuss the necessary changes in bodybuilding, which simply have to happen for the benefit of the athletes themselves. One can talk about how unfair fate and the people he worked with were around Shawn, but anyway, Shawn Rhoden is gone, and yet he went undefeated. His last tournament was the Olympia 2018, where he became the champion for the first time. Mr. Olympia, he will go down in bodybuilding history as the last aesthete. I would like to believe that it is not the last, but it is definitely special and one of the best. And as always, I appreciate your support. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications when new videos are released. And thanks for watching. Sports Guru was with you. See you later.